It is the semifinals of the Cheetah Championship here at the PBA World Series of Bowling with Norm Duke versus Stevie Weber and Ryan Simonelli against Derek Sapp. But 3 of the 4 have never won on the PBA Tour. Norm Duke is the only one among the semifinalists to have ever captured a PBA title, and he's done it 32 times. In Game 1 of Simonelli versus Sapp, the #1 seed would make the first misstep, leaving the 9 in frame 2 and the 7 in the 3rd. That put Sapp in the driver's seat as he immediately strung together a 4-bagger, well on his way to taking the first game. But Simonelli would finally answer with a strike in the 4th and seemed to have found his groove, much to his dad's relief.
He's doing fantastic. He amazes me, so this guy's really tough too.
Both would continue to strike, but it was Sapp's game to lose.
Sapp perfect through the first 7 frames. Here he is in the 8th. And a cruel close to that opening 7-bagger.
Simonelli would strike out to win and then went on to capture Game 2. But in Game 3, the lane conditions began to favor Sapp.
After the 2 games, I got up 2-0. They started transitioning really weird, nothing like they had been. He found it after struggling the 2nd game. That's when he went front 10, and I knew he was going to shoot a big game, so I started looking around, fishing around for something else.
A ball change set up Sapp for a chance at a perfect game.
It was a good ball change, I guess, after the first 2 games. But, I'm not really, I never think about shooting through there. I'm just thinking about bowling a good game and, trying to win the match.
Sapp perfect through the front 9 here in Game 3, looking to drop a Bo Derek. 10 for 10.
The Bo Derek? Are you serious?
That. You love that one. I know you do.
I'll tell you what I love is watching Derek Sapp. What a great game he's got. Watch this arm swing come a little bit to the outside, tuck back underneath him. A lot like Walter Ray Williams Jr., but with a lot more hand.
And the streak comes to an end there.
He didn't get his perfect game, but he did get the Game 3 victory, handily, 287 to 213.
He was striking, and I had to try to outstrike him, and that game I did.
But the big game didn't worry Simonelli, who was still up 2 games to 1.
That was his 3rd ball already. We both were going through a lot of transition, and I knew his look could stay the way it was. And so it was just a matter of time, I felt, before that look went away.
Simonelli was apparently right as he crushed Sapp in Game 4, 255 to 190. But in Game 5, things would be much closer.
Must-win game for Sapp. And he gets all 10 to drop in the 10th with Simonelli up 2.
One more strike from Sapp, and Simonelli would have to double to win.
Got to have it. Put some pressure on Simonelli.
And leaves the 7-10 again.
If I double there, he has to double. Instead he only needs a mark. That's a huge, huge swing. It's a big difference needing a mark versus needing a double. That goes without saying.
Simonelli would strike on his 1st in the 10th, essentially locking up the game and the match.
Yeah!
Thanks, boss. Thank you. Appreciate it.
For Sapp, the tournament was bittersweet. He bowled well, but the 2 splits in Games 1 and 5 were fatal.
If those 2 shots fall, I'm probably up 3-2. And we would have still had to keep going. But, that's the way it goes. The way he's bowling right now, he's bowling with no fear. Every time he's needed to make a shot in match play, he has.
Simonelli has made his first PBA Tour final of his young career. His dream, as well as his father's, nearly within grasp.
When I went up and hugged him in the bleachers, he said, "I can't believe it, 1 away." And he was already on the phone with my mom, calling her and telling her because she couldn't be here. And she was crying over the phone. And he was almost speechless.
Like Simonelli, Stevie Weber is looking for PBA Tour title #1. The former Team USA member from New Orleans is a survivor of natural disaster and personal loss. He and his wife were victims of Hurricane Katrina in 2005. But the real tragedy in Stevie Weber's life was the passing of his mother and his brother within the same year. Both continue to inspire Stevie, especially his late brother Jimmy, whose name he sees every time he throws a ball.
You know, he passed away, 6 years ago now. And, not forgot about him, but I don't think about him as much as I should. So, felt guilty, got this, put it in a place where I always see it. So I think about him, every day.
His mother and brother would no doubt be proud of Stevie's performance here at the Cheetah Championship and the fact that he has advanced far enough to meet a legend in the semifinals. Norm Duke is taking aim at title #33, and like any seasoned veteran, doesn't appear to be feeling the pressure.
I'll tell you that.
But in game 1 of their matchup, it was Duke who stumbled first.
So Duke, the single pin spare attempt here in the second.
Uh-oh.
A slip and a whiff.
The approaches on the other bay were a little bit on the tacky side. These are okay. The only thing is when you get to that left side and you try to shoot your spares, it is so slippery where I almost fell on my, almost fell down. You feel like you're moving on air, like maybe on an air hockey table, with the air coming out on it. And I'm a good spare shooter, but that puts a whole new dynamic in it.
Weber capitalized on Duke's mistake with 6 consecutive strikes in the 4th through the 9th frame.
Stevie had me in game 1, and I think if he marked or if he threw a strike, it's over, and I'm down 1-0, and he just winged one.
What was that? I had the first match well in hand, and I just lost focus and just threw a bad shot.
Looking to make the washout, throw the 1 into the 10. The ball covers the 2-4.
Damn it.
Made a really good shot at the split. Sent the head pin around the 10 pin on the washout conversion and didn't even mark.
Focus, man. That won't happen again. So he's got a strike. I can't believe I just did that.
So that gave me a chance to double in the 10th to win the game. That's a hard place to put Steve, because he looks like he's about to go 1-0, and now he's 0-1. And for me, I feel like I have a free shot, so it's an easier 10th frame. That was definitely the momentum changer, and I tried to keep the momentum on my side. As long as that's happening, it's easier to take a guy's heart out, because he knows he's not only spotting you, maybe a little bit of this, but also momentum.
After taking games 1 and 2, Norm's momentum stalled in game 3, leaving the 4-6-7 in the 4th frame. Weber would go on to win the game 236-226. But his good fortune didn't last for long. Game 4 would be a disaster.
Spare, strike, spare for Weber to open up. Game number 4. Here he is in the 4th. Leaves the 3-6-10.
He failed to convert the spare, and 3 frames later, ran into even more trouble. Duke would prevail in this game and in the 5th to take the match.
You fight all week and you just lose focus for that split second, and that's all it takes, And it was just really just that one shot, that I lost focus in the first, in the first game. Then you bowl in somebody of Norm's caliber, you just cannot do that.
You did really good. You haven't left the meeting set.
No, everything's cool. It's a good week. Take a couple days off and get ready to rock and roll again.
The final match is set. Hall of Famer Norm Duke versus young gun Ryan Simonelli. Next.